Hey there guys, this is Victor with VictorVectorJKU. I just got done washing the Jeep, so she's nice and clean now. And today I'm going to be going over an unboxing and install of the Vector Offroad JKE Dock. So stay tuned. So let's go and unbox this and see how it's all packaged together and everything. So I already broke the staple, so it was taped and stapled, so make sure you don't have anything that's going to come flying out of there during shipment. Alright, so we got our packing slip here. Yep, packing slip saying thank you from Vector Offroad. And so we got our hardware and a couple of end plugs for the tube. Guess it would have been a smart idea if I would have brought a knife out with me. Alright. Got a couple of our spacers, it looks like. That'll probably go down into the dash and support the back side of the JKE bar. Got our two end caps, and then we got the main bar itself right here. There it is. Alright, has a really nice rough texture to it. Good feel. I like it. Good packaging. Everything came through. There's no damage on the ends. The box was in good shape when it arrived. Coating seems nice and uniform all the way around. Has a nice little Vector steel stamping right there. It's a nice little touch. That way when you're in the Jeep you'll see it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get inside the Jeep and see how it goes. Alright guys, so we're inside the Jeep. Let's jump into the install. So on Vector Offroad's website, where you order the product from, they have the installation instructions there. It's just a 3-page PDF that you just have to download real quick. They recommend reading through the entire instructions before you begin, and it's always a good idea just to get your feet underneath you and see, what kind of tools you're going to need, what kind of timeline it looks like, what's the extent of, tearing stuff apart or putting new things in. It's all just normally a good idea to kind of run through that stuff beforehand. So what they have here is they have their parts list, so it lists off everything that's included in your kit when you get it. They mention the necessary tools that you need to be able to do the install, so I'll go and run through those real quick. So you got a 4mm hex L key. This is going to be used for attaching these screws and washers on the spacer studs after we install the JKE dock on top, but that'll happen after we've already installed those onto the studs in the dash. They also state that you should have a small screwdriver. Personally, I'm not a big fan of using metal objects on a plastic dash. I prefer to use these plastic trim removal kits. I think they're like 20 bucks, 25 bucks off Amazon. You get this kit of like, I think 13 or 15 of these, and they're different shapes and sizes, and this is really killer stuff. We use this in the trucking industry and it's great. Don't have to worry about scratching, damaging the trim panels nearly as easily as using a metal object or a screwdriver. So highly recommend those. I'll look to put a link in the bio for where I got that off Amazon. And then the final thing you need is a 7mm socket driver. So this guy will be used to take the screw out from underneath here. So yeah, so we'll go and jump into the install. Start with step one. So first thing they say is pull out the rubber injection molded piece here. So we're going to go and lift that guy up. You can kind of grab it from the center, and then there's two ridges inside here that kind of hold and pinch on this lip. So go and pull that guy out, set him off to the side. Alright, next thing they say is go and grab your 7mm socket and go ahead and undo this screw that's right here in the center. Get that guy going. Alright, I'm going to set this guy here in the little center console so we don't lose them. Next thing they say is remove the little small caps on either side of the dash. So I was able to just look up over the dash here and see it. So I got one right here. My other one's just right over here. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to take my plastic pry tool here, come in underneath the edge, and I'm just going to sort of twist it in this motion right here. That's going to bump this guy up just like that, and it'll come right out. I'll set this guy aside. Again, these guys aren't going to get reinstalled afterwards. So I'll come over to this side. Again, just doing that little twisting motion. I'm sort of just rotating in that direction just to pop it up. And then just keep pulling it up a little bit more. And there we go. Second one's out. So next thing is we're going to be installing our spacers up on the front. So what I'm going to first do, I'm going to start off with going and taking out the fasteners. That way I don't accidentally drop them down into the back there, because that'd be unfortunate and be kind of a pain to try to get in behind the dash there in those small openings to get them back out. So just take your 4mm hex key and go ahead and remove the screw and washer from there. I'm going to set it up there so it's out of the way. Just spin that guy right on off. Set them in the center there. Alright, so from there they say go ahead and just hand tighten these guys onto the studs. There's no need to remove the 13mm nuts on the studs. We can just go ahead and put these guys right on top here. So just find where you're at, make sure you don't cross thread it, and then just go ahead and screw these guys on. They did note that if your studs are not vertical, that you may need to contact the dealer to then have them straighten it because it was bent from the factory. So I'm going to hope that mine is straight enough for this to work here, but we will find out when we go to put the E-Dock on. So again, we're just going to go thread this guy on hand tight down to the nut. Alright, we're set there. Then you can go and bring in your E-Dock. Go and set him into place. So go and bring him in here. Going to want your flanges on the back side to land on top of those, and then your center will be right there. Alright, so then they say go ahead and install these screws on. So we'll cautiously put these guys into place through our hole. Line it up. I'm going to lift it up a little bit so I can kind of see underneath. And go and start threading that guy on there. And then they say keep these guys loose until we get this third screw installed. So go ahead and get this guy. Plus it's always a good idea just to keep your nuts and bolts loose, or screws, until you get everything in, because if you have any misalignment you want to be able to adjust, because they obviously have a bit of play into this bracket. They left some fairly large diameter holes in these flanges, so you can shift this forward and back, left and right a bit. That way you can align everything really well. Alright, last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and throw this little guy in here. Just got to find my hole. There it is. Alright. I'm going to do that there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look and see, does everything look like it's in a good place? Do I want it forward or back? And personally, I'm thinking I'm going to push mine as far back as I can. I think I like that spot best. So go ahead and tighten this guy in. Get my hand started. Come back in with my soft wrench. Tighten down. And I don't need to over tighten them, just get them nice and snug. We'll come back over to these guys and tighten them in. And again, just nice and snug. No need to go too tight. And there we go. Pretty solid. I'm happy with that. That looks good. Alright. What we can do is go and finish it off with these little end caps. Pop these guys in here just to finish them off. Give them a nice clean look on the edge. Alright. There we go. And that is it. Our E-Dock is installed. It's a nice rigid platform, has a nice look. The texture is really aggressive, or not super aggressive, but it has a good feel to it and it looks good. What's nice is that I can leave this skosh mount here for now. It's not in the way. But yeah, so just to kind of run through a few things here real quick. So these two little caps here that came up off the dash louvers there, those aren't going to get reinstalled, and then also this little tray bezel here doesn't go back in either. So we'll go ahead and leave these guys out. So pretty simple, pretty easy install. Next thing I'll be looking to get is some of those 1-inch clamps, and then getting whatever accessories I want to be able to mount up. So I'm gonna get a phone mount. Not sure what brand I want to go with, so those are things still to be decided, but stay tuned for a future video, and I'll fill you in on how I fill out my dash, guys. So thanks for tuning in today. If you liked today's video, hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel. Hope you guys stick around. Hope you guys get some value out of my videos and my installs, and look to see you next time. Alright guys, have a good day.